Hi everyone, hope you're all well. In today's video, we're going to talk about some free web design programs and software that you can use to help design your website, and then in some examples can also continue on building your website as well. We'll go through some of the popular web design software and some pros and cons of each, and how to use them as well. So website design programs, also known as website design software or web development tools, are essentially just applications or platforms that are used to create, design, and manage websites. These programs provide tools and features that facilitate the creation of web pages and their layout as well. Some popular website design programs include WordPress. So WordPress is a really widely used content management system, otherwise known as a CMS, and it simplifies website creation and management. It offers a really user-friendly interface, customizable themes, and a vast range of plugins for enhanced functionality as well. Next up is Wix, and Wix is a cloud-based website builder that allows users to create a website using drag and drop tools, and it offers a wide selection of templates, pre-designed elements, and an intuitive interface that makes it really beginner-friendly. Webflow is a web design and development platform that combines visual design capabilities with powerful coding editing features as well. It allows designers to create responsive websites using a visual canvas or custom code. Squarespace is another popular website builder that focuses on providing visually appealing templates and design options as well. It offers an easy-to-use interface and integrates well with e-commerce functionality as well. These are just a few examples, and there are lots of other website design programs available. We'll start off with WordPress and how we can use that to design and develop our website. So first up, we have WordPress. So WordPress is a really popular CMS and it's used by lots of websites. And one of the great things about WordPress is that there are free templates and design programs like builders to help you build out your website and design your website how you need. So WordPress uses something called themes to essentially will change the design of your website, usually things like the branding, color palettes, and even like the layout and things as well. WordPress obviously uses themes to display certain sections of your website, and you want to make sure you pick a theme that suits you in terms of budget, functionality, style, and things like that. A WordPress theme is basically a group of files that work together to create the design of your website, the overall look of your website. And these can be things like these template files here for your header and your footer, single blog templates, any fonts, style sheets, images. They're all saved within the theme, and possibly any JavaScript files that you might have. There are lots of ways to download themes. You can either go directly to the WordPress directory. So if you already have your site set up, what you want to do is go into your dashboard and then go down to themes. Under appearance, you just want to click on themes, and then you just want to click add new. And then from here you can select different themes. You can browse for different themes. You can search for the theme name if you already have it, or you can use this kind of feature filter to filter between different themes. The other way you can do it is, if you don't have the site set up yet, is that you can download the theme from the WordPress website. So that's wordpress.org/themes, and set up the same way as the directory. You'll see a bunch of different themes ready for you to kind of download, and you can again use the feature filter to filter between what kind of theme that you want, and then just simply download whatever theme it is that you want. Come back to the WordPress dashboard on your site, click on upload theme, choose the file, and then select the file that you had just downloaded. So that's the theme file that you have, and then it'll install and you can just activate it. When it comes to choosing a theme, you want to select a theme that you like the best, but also that would suit your needs. And there's a few other things to consider when selecting one, and this includes things like the cost, the actual design and the look of it, compatibility with different plugins you may need to use, and how easy the theme is to edit and how much control you have over certain aspects of the site layout. And you want to make sure the theme is responsive as well. So when it comes to picking a theme that would suit your needs, you need to consider the functionality and the purpose of your site. So like, what is your website about? What is it used for? If it's like, is it a personal blog website? Is it a travel blog kind of website, a portfolio site? Is it going to be an e-commerce site where you're trying to sell products online? Things like that. So obviously when you come to the WordPress directory, obviously it can be a bit overwhelming. There's lots of themes to kind of go for, lots of themes to pick. So what you can do is use the feature filter here. And within this filter, you can actually select the subject, and this is essentially the subject of your website. Is it going to be a blog website, e-commerce, entertainment, food and drink, things like that? So you would select the website that the category that fits best the website that you're going to make. As you can see, so the reason why it's different is that a website for a blog might be laid out completely differently to a website that's for an e-commerce. Because both of those themes will focus on different things. The blog themed themes will focus on what's the best way to display written content to the user, and the e-commerce themes will focus on how to show as many products, how to display products nicely in a way that kind of catch the user's eye. So it's really important to think about what the purpose of the website is, and overall, what do you want your customers to do? Do you want them to read your blogs? Do you want them to buy a product? Do you want them to book your service? Things like that. So what you want to do then is, once you've selected, once you go through these options, you can click into it for more information, and what you can do is you can click this preview button, and this will show you the website, the theme as a website as opposed to pictures, and that way you can really see sort of how the theme is going to work. So like, what kind of colors are they going to use, what kind of font styles, font settings, things like that. Some previews will also show you different pages and even single block templates and things like that. When you are selecting a site, there's certain things that you should look out for. So for example, say you've seen the preview of this and you like it, you want to check for things like the ratings. So you want to read the reviews of the site if there are any. You want to make sure that people that have downloaded this site and used this theme, are they happy with it? Would they recommend it? If there's any known common issues or bugs, people will tend to write about them. If you are using a theme that maybe doesn't have any ratings, maybe because it's new, and things like that, I think just be kind of a bit wary. Always have a theme downloaded that you can switch back to if the new theme that you've added doesn't work out okay. But essentially you want to look at the ratings as well and see if there's any known issues or if everything's okay. The other thing that you want to make sure is that it's being updated frequently. So if the last updated is maybe like a few months ago or maybe even a few years ago, I would suggest to stay away from those, because it would probably be a sort of an insecure theme. Plugins are always being updated pretty much every week, and if the theme isn't being updated at the same time, newer versions of plugins won't work with older version of the theme. Old themes as well, they're both susceptible to attacks. So keeping a theme up to date is really important, as well as keeping your plugins up to date. So you want to make sure that the last updated is a recent time and not anything like a few months ago or a few years back. And you want to just check the PHP version as well and make sure that it's compatible with the PHP versions of other plugins that you might be using at the time. And then so you want to look at that as well, and then just see if there's anything else within the description or anything else that you want to look out for. Another place where you can get themes is the Invanto Elements website. So Invanto Elements not only do WordPress themes, they also do like custom fonts, any placeholder photos, graphics, things like that. It's a really good place to go if you don't have a lot of content in terms of imagery, any graphics and things like that. It is a paid service, so you are paying for essentially the service to download some of the themes and use them on your website as well. But essentially, if you have this account, what you want to do is under Web Templates, you want to go to All Web Templates. all CMS templates even. And you want to go into WordPress themes, and you can see a whole bunch of themes. Some of them you might find for free on the WordPress directory, but a lot of these would be premium themes. And again, you can use the filters to filter by sort of what kind of website, so e-commerce, portfolio, agency, blog, things like that. And then another thing you can also do is see what themes are compatible with certain plugins. So you see this filter here, so compatible with, and you can see there's a whole bunch of popular plugins that people tend to use, like WP PageKit Bakery, WooCommerce, Elementor. So if you know that these are plugins that you plan on using, like if you plan on using a builder, then you want to select a theme that is compatible with that. So what you can do is so what you can do is, if you know you're going to use Elementor on your website, then you can select Elementor and Elementor Pro, and it'll then filter themes that are compatible with Elementor and that you can use Elementor with it. If you select maybe one of the themes, same thing as if you were to select a theme from the WordPress directory, there is a preview section, so it'll show you the theme as a website. Yep, so you can see the site here, and you can scroll down and really click through it and see what it's going to be like. So for example, this is agency, this is a consulting page, this is a marketing page, business page, things like that. And essentially all of this will be filled with placeholder content, and it's up to you then to change the content that you will add to the website, but at least you can see what this site will look like, what colors they're using, and the layouts and things like that. So this is another theme here, and you can see it's set up, the theme is set up exactly like a website, and you can sort of click around it and see exactly what you can change and what you can change the content on and what it would look like. The good thing about some of these themes, so like this is a theme that's compatible with Elementor, is that because most of the pages have already been built, it saves you a lot of time in the beginning, especially if you just are wanting a site up just for a place for people to have some kind of online presence. This saves you a bit of time from designing like a full website. All you need to do is maybe change a few colors, update the content, update the imagery, and that way you have a working site with not a lot of time invested into it, but at least it's how you want it. To check how responsive a site is, or a theme is, what you can do is right click onto the theme, click on inspect, and you'll see this might be to the side, so let me just put this aside. You can see in this button here, this is a responsive toggle, so if you click on that, you can select which device to view this theme on. So I've selected iPad Air, so it's reading with this dimension, and you can see this is what the theme will look like, this is what these sections will look like if you were to use these themes, and you can see that it is not bad on mobile, so you know that you are picking a responsive site or not, depending on what theme that you're using. So it's really important to check for that, as more and more people are using their phones to browse online, so making sure you pick a responsive theme is important. So just like the WordPress directory, you want to make sure, you want to read through and see what exactly comes within the theme. So for this one, there's like 4 homepage templates, 9 inner pages, header footer builder, fully responsive, and things like that. And also here it'll show you the plugins required. So this is something to watch out for with some of the Inventor ones, is that when people build some of these themes, they do require these plugins. Now, depending on what they used each plugin for, you might not need to download all of them. So if, for example, the Met form, that's usually a contact form plugin. So if you don't download that, it's not that you can't download the theme at all. The theme will be downloaded, but whichever area of the theme is using Met form, that part won't be showing. So Met form is for contact form, so any part where there's a contact form won't show, so maybe replace that with something else or just download Metform. So it's important that you have access to all of these, and it tells you exactly what you need access to, so Elementor, Elements Kit Lite, Metform, all of these. Usually but you don't need to download these separately. What you need to do actually is just download the entire thing, and then using the Invanto Elements plugin, you're going to import that file. So just to show you, so once you have obviously an account set up, you just want to click on download, and it's going to ask you to add a file to this project. So the projects are within your account, so this can be like the name of the this can be the name of the site, and you just want to add the file, the theme, to the project. So now we have the theme, and now what we need to do then is download the Invanto Elements plugin. And to do that, you just need to go back to your WordPress dashboard and go into plugins, and so you can see I've already downloaded Invanto Elements here, but all you need to do is click Add New, and then click and then search for Invanto Elements. If it's not showing up on the WordPress directory, you can also just go into WordPress plugins, wordpress.org/plugins, and then just look for it there, but essentially just download that and then add that to your Once it's installed and activated, all you need to do is go down to, you'll see a new tab for elements, and this is the Invanto Element Kit, and then what you want to do is click Template Kits. And you can see the template kits are already showing here, but then what you can do then, just make sure your account is connected, and then what you can do then is go into installed kits, and you want to upload template kit zip file, and this is just a zip file of the template kit that we downloaded earlier, and that's the plugin downloaded. Once you have your theme downloaded, it should apply to every part of your website, and just make sure that it's activated on the themes page before you go to check, and then you can start seeing where to customize your theme. So if you go into customize, it should show you all the options on what you can change, so things like the site identity, homepage settings, header and footer, all of that you can update here. So it's up to you to kind of see how you're editing the theme. And what you can also do then is, if you realize actually you don't like this theme, you can switch back to a previous theme. So if you go back to theme here, so it's not good to have lots of themes, so you want to keep the theme that you currently have, and then you also then just want to keep like a backup theme, so that's in case if anything goes wrong, or if you ever need to debug an issue, then it's good to keep one of the 2021-2023 themes, just so there's something that you can switch to if you ever need to debug an issue or anything like that. And it's really simple, you just click on activate, and it'll activate the new theme, so just be careful of that. So now we can go over some popular themes. One of the most popular themes used especially is the Hello Elementor theme. So the Elementor plugin, Page Builder, is one of the most popular page builders there is out there, and the same team that built that also created the new Hello theme, and essentially it's fully designed to work really well with the Elementor Pro plugin. It's very lightweight, and yeah, 100% tailored to Elementor. I think if you are building a website that is using a specific builder, and that builder comes with its own theme, I think the best thing to do would be download that theme as well, because then you know you're downloading you're downloading a theme that's optimized to work with the builder. And it's really important, since builders themselves are quite heavy plugins, that you keep the theme really nice and lightweight to not add any more load time. But essentially, it just means that both your sites will, both theme and the plugin will work seamlessly. And so Elementor itself is very responsive. It's SEO friendly. It's very lightweight, and it's also free. So you can Elementor, the basic plugin is free, and also the Hello theme is free. It's just the Pro plugin that's you would need to pay for. But even if you were just to get the Elementor plugin, the basic one, and with the Hello theme, you've still got a good site going along the way. You would just need to create an account. So yeah, the Hello Elementor theme is one of the most popular ones.
Webflow is a really popular web design and development platform that allows users to create visually websites without needing to write code. It's a really powerful tool that combines a drag and drop interface with a robust CMS, also known as a content management system, and hosting capabilities all in one package. With Webflow, users can design and build responsive websites that look great on any device, from desktop computers to mobile phones as well. The platform offers a wide range of customizable templates and design elements, including typography, images, animations, and making it really easy to create unique and visually stunning images and websites. Webflow also offers powerful e-commerce functionality, allowing users to create online stores with customizable product page, shopping carts, payment processing. Along with that, Webflow CMS means that users can manage their website content, including blog posts, images, products, and other media as well, all from one central location. Another really great thing about Webflow is that it allows users to export their code so they can take the designs and use them on other platforms or with other tools. This makes it a really versatile tool for web designers and developers, whether they're building a website from scratch or just customizing an existing template. So Webflow can be used to build a wide range of websites, from simple one-page websites to complex multi-page websites with custom functionality. Some of the most common types of websites that can be built with Webflow include business websites. So Webflow is a great tool for creating professional-looking business websites and has really good features like customizable templates, e-commerce functionality, and easy-to-use CMS as well. It's also really good for portfolio websites. So Webflow's visual design tools make it easy to create beautiful portfolio websites that showcase your work in a visually appealing way. It's really good for landing page websites as well. So Webflow is also well suited for creating landing pages that are designed to convert visitors into customers with features like A/B testing and integration with popular marketing tools like Google Analytics and MailChimp. Webflow, as mentioned before, has really powerful e-commerce functionality, and it's a really excellent tool for creating online stores with features like product pages, shopping carts, and payment processing. Webflow CMS make it really easy to create and manage a blog as well, so they have features like custom post templates, tagging, and scheduling as well, so it's really good for different kinds of blogging websites. Overall, it's a really versatile tool that can be used to build a wide range of websites for businesses, creatives, and individuals alike. So Webflow come with a really good and useful tools. First thing that you have is the Webflow Designer. So the Webflow Designer is a powerful visual design tool that allows you to create and edit your website's design without writing any code. With the designer, you can easily customize your typography, your layout, your color schemes, animation, and more. You also have Webflow's CMS. So Webflow CMS makes it easy to manage your content's website, including blog pages, images, and other media. And with the CMS, you can create custom templates as well for different types of content, set up dynamic lists, and even create different user accounts as well. It's great for developers as well, as the code that you write, that if you were to write with Webflow, it works directly with the JSON underlying your CMS. So you can use their API to bring in content from other external resources and then connect the existing CMS or publish a mobile app as well. So it's really good for developers in that way as well. Webflow also offer interactions. So they have an interaction feature and it allows you to create animations, interactions on your website without any coding. With interactions, you can create custom hover effects, scrolling animations, and a lot more. And you can essentially use all this to make your site more engaging, more fun for users to use as well. And every single feature of Webflow, they do have lots of tutorials as well, where you can show you how to create different kinds of animation, entrance effects, emphasis effects, things like that as well. So it's a really good animation thing to use. Next up, you have Webflow's e-commerce functionality. So this makes it easy to create an online store with customizable product pages, shopping carts, and payment processing. With Webflow's e-commerce features, you can manage orders, track inventory, and create custom discount codes as well. In today's video, we'll also be looking at how to set up a online store using Webflow as well. It's very easy and good for users who maybe don't have a lot of experience setting up online stores as well. Webflow also have lots of different integrations as well with third-party tools like Google Analytics, MailChimp, Zapier, and lots more. With these integrations, you can track your website's performance, automate workflows, and lots more as well. All of this overall make Webflow a really powerful and versatile platform for designing, building, and managing websites without requiring advanced coding skills. So to get started with Webflow, it is mainly free until you need to select a plan. What you want to do is first go on to Webflow's website, and you're looking for the homepage here, and you want to click on the Start Building button. The first thing that you need to do is set up an account. You can either use your Google, or you can just type in any of your email addresses to start creating an account with Webflow. And then once you set up with your email and password, you just want to continue with the setup process. And so you just want to give them your name and just fill in the questions that they ask you below. You want to pay attention to this question here. So what do you want to build today? And you want to basically type in or select the type of website that you want to create, and that way they'll help you get started based on what you've selected. So for today's example, we'll just use an e-commerce store, and you can decide if you want to stay up to date by subscribing emails or not, and you want to just click on finish. And you can see Webflow just optimizing the layouts now. And next thing then you'll be shown different templates to start creating your site. So you can see there's different templates that they have, and they also have some free ones and they have some paid ones, or you can start fully from blank canvas in case you already know exactly what you're wanting to build and you don't need a starting point. So yeah, you can see all these different templates. You can preview them as well. If you hover over them and just click preview, it takes you to a preview page and you can see what that website is going to look like. As you scroll, you can see there's more. However, some of them are paid and some of them are free. So you just want to keep looking at these and just making sure that whatever template that you pick, yes, it works with your branding and it works with how you want it to look, but it also works within your budget as well. But you can browse through all the free templates. We've got some e-commerce ones here, so we'll pick from there. So it's up to you how you want to do it. In this example, we'll just use this template here and just click on select. And you want to give it a name as well. And then just hit on create site. And Webflow will then just use your template to build out your site. So you can see the site is now loaded, and it's loaded with the site as we selected here, but it's also loaded with the editors and everything like that as well. The really good thing about Webflow is that it does come with really detailed tutorials and step-by-step instructions. So you can see at the beginning we have this get started guide, and you can essentially go through each of these guides and select what it is that you want to do, and then use it as a kind of a checkbox. We'll minimize this for now. But yeah, so Webflow is split kind of within these two panels. So you've got this left panel here, and this is showing you the layout kind of navigation. So it gives you an overview of how this specific page is being built, and you can select each element and you can select each section that way. And once you select an element, you can click into the element here, and then on the right hand side it'll show you all of the styling for that specific element. So right now it's showing the styling for the heading 1, and then we can click on that and you can see it's showing the styling for the paragraph large as well. That's things like the spacing, the font, the weight, things like that. If you click into the body tab over here, you can see you can update the font styling across all your typographies. So if you click on here, you can see there's body text styling all over here as well, and it just means then you can create like a sort of palette for and theme palette and branding palette for each of the heading 1s, heading 2s, paragraph text, body text, things like that. And that way that leaves some kind of like consistency within your design and your layout as well. So it's really simple to kind of start getting added with Webflow. What you want to do, for example, to create another section, what you want to do is click on this plus section here, and you want to essentially click on a layout first. So everything is within a layout, and you want to just select what kind of layout you want. There's different sections, and then there's containers, there's grids, things like that. So you just want to click and drag that to where you want it. So we've added a container here. And next thing that you might want to do then is change the height of it. So if you click into the container, you can see now we selected the container, and we can change the height of the container as well. So if we give it a height in pixels, what you want to do is click into the box, and you're looking for the size, and you're looking for the min height here, and you can just give it a minimum height so that it looks a little bit bigger and you have more space to add things. Now that you have your container, what you can do then is give it maybe a color, and again you're looking for the container styling, and you're looking for backgrounds. So right now it's transparent, but you can give it a different background like so. Next thing you can do then is add elements within the container. So for example, we could add a heading, and we can click and drag that within the container, and we've added the heading there. We can then also add a paragraph as well. If we go back to the element section and add paragraph, we can click and drag that over here as well. The paragraph text, as you can see, it's matching the color of the background. So what we're going to do is click onto the paragraph text, and we're going to change the color of it as well. And you can see the text being added, and we can do the same thing with our heading as well. So we've added this heading here, and what you want to do is you can add the styling, and you can add, similar to the paragraph thing, you can add the different styling for colors and typography and things like that, and just kind of style it how you want to. You may find now that there's it's too close to the top, so what we can do is add some more padding to the left and right of the container, and maybe even the top as well. So I've selected the container again, and you can see here I've selected it as well. And then I'm going to go to the spacing section, and I'm going to add the padding. So first of all, I'm going to click on the padding top here, and I am going to add, say, 20. Yeah, so that looks good, so I'm happy with that. And I'm going to also add padding as well. We'll do 40 for this side, and then we'll do 40 on the other side as well. And you can see that's been added as well. So what we might need to do as well is add some padding at the bottom just so it evens out. So now I have a container with text and headings that I want, but it doesn't have the closeness, and it's not too squishy as before. We can also add things like buttons. So if I click and drag that button over, you can see the button is selected here. However, you can see here there's a button that has been sort of already styled and designed, and you can see when I click on to this button here, there is a style selector being added called button. So Webflow does make the use of classes and IDs to kind of make sure to add styling to different elements, and it means then that you can style one button and just apply that same style element, that same style class to another button to inherit those style properties. So we've got this button here, and I want it to look like this button, so I'm going to click into that button here, and I'm going to add that button class. So the button class for this one is just button. So we're going to click on button text here, and then we're going to add the button class for this one as well. And you can see the existing button comes up. That is now being restyled as this, including with the hand animations as well. You can see that the color of the background of this button matches the color of the background that I have. So what I'm going to do is click onto the container again, and then just change the color of that background. And there we go. So we now have a button that looks exactly how we want the other button to look like, except we didn't need to style that and add more style settings for that. We just added the button class and then saved that as well. And I can do that with every single button that I have, or use different button stylings to make other button stylings as well. So as mentioned before, Webflow is also really good to to make your website responsive as well. So making sure that your website looks good and can see all the content easily on all different devices. So what I'm going to do to check on different devices is I'm going to use the top bar up here. So right now I'm on desktop. So what I'm going to do is switch to the mobile view here. So that's now changed the viewport to the mobile display. So that's 478 pixels and down. And you can see now when I go down, so everything's already kind of styled already. But for example, if you wanted the text size of this to be a little bit smaller, what you want to do is click into the paragraph text and you're looking for, again, the size. And it's set to 17 already on mobile. Maybe we'll change it to 15. But you'll remember on desktop, it's a completely different size. If we switch back to desktop, it is back to 17. So that means no matter what font size that we give on mobile, it's only going to apply to the mobile state of the website and not the display desktop state. We also have tablet, which is 991 pixels down, and if we click back onto that paragraph, so it's 17 pixels here, we will make it 15, or maybe we'll make it 18 pixels, something a little bit bigger. But again, if we switch that back to mobile, it goes back to 15 on mobile. It goes back to 15 on mobile, and then desktop, it's back to 17, and tablet, it goes to 18. So you don't have to worry so much about using different font sizing on different tablets and different devices, because you can set different font sizing for each screen size that's set. So it's really easy that way as well. So now we have some basics of Webflow covered. Now let's take a look at Webflow's e-commerce section as well. So if you go onto the left panel here, you can see that they have a little tab for e-commerce, which is this little trolley icon here. And this will essentially walk you through a setup guide for e-commerce, because there's a few things you need to do when you're setting up e-commerce. So there's 12 steps left. First thing that you want to do is add a business address, and this will help you with tax verification purposes and also just making sure that everything's in the correct currency and things like that. And you want to make sure you have the currency settings set up as well, and the language and region as well. And just click continue. If you go into the payment section, you can see their payment settings. And if you go back to the setup guide, there's still some more things that we need to do. So we need to review the currency settings. So we'll review currency settings. And you can see that we've got the currency already set up and we're happy with sort of the price formatting and things like that. We're going to click save. And if we go back to the checklist, the next thing then is to actually add a product. So we're going to click on add a product. And we are going to, you can create sample items, so you can get help starting designing a product faster, or you can create a new product. We will create a new product. And we're going to give the product name. So we'll do basic jumper. You can get the name, and the URL slug automatically shows up here. And then you want to give it a product description, just in that little product description here. Then you want to give it a category. So what you might want to do first is actually add a category. You click on the add button here. And just type in the name of the category that you want to add. And you just want to click on create. You can add as many products categories as you want, but obviously you want to be meaningful with it, and you just don't want to add a whole bunch of categories to your product for the sake of it. And then you want to actually add a image to your product. You can add, so split between main image and more images, so you want to make sure that you add one main image at least. And then you can add more images as needed. And then you want to give the billing price as well. So this is the price that you're selling the product at. And what you can do is to add a compare at price. So this is essentially if you want to put a product on sale, it'll show up as a sale item. So obviously the product here, the pricing here is going to be more than what you add as the price here. And you can add SKU identifiers. You can decide if you want to track the inventory, either with a yes or no, and you can give it a number if you decide to actually track the inventory. And whether or not this requires shipping, and you can give it a shipping weight and dimensions. And this will be good if you are selling something that's a little bit heavier, or if the postage, it would be more depending on the weight or the size of it. For things like clothing or retail, it's not really necessary. And then you just want to click on create. And you can see now that the product is set up. It's staged for publish, meaning that the site isn't published yet, and the site and the product itself needs to be published, but it is ready to go. So now if we go back to the setup guide, we need to add a shipping method, so how we're going to ship the product. And the way this works is through shipping zones. So you'll essentially set up rules for each area. So for example, the rules for domestic shipping, the United Kingdom, might be different for the rules to your shipping in Europe. Maybe it costs more, maybe it doesn't offer free delivery and things like that. So you want to group your rules by the countries that those rules are applied to. So we've got the domestic shipping kind of already set up. We just want to turn it on, and we want to actually add a shipping method. So you want to click on shipping methods here, and you want to click on new method. And you want to choose whether or not the method is flat rate, meaning it's a rate per item or per product, percentage based, price based, things like that. We'll keep it simple. We'll just keep it at a flat rate, and we'll call it 2-day delivery. You can give it a description if you want, or if your name is self-explanatory enough, you can just leave it at that. And then you want to give it a rate amount, and you can decide if you want the shipping to be per order or per item, and just click save. And once you're done, you just click on save up here, and that is your shipping zone set up. You can add as many shipping methods as you want. It's up to you, and it'll be applied depending on what the user has purchased or where they are. If we go back to the guide, the next thing we need to do then is just review our tax settings. So if we go back here, you can see that by default, the way it works is that you would include the tax as part of your final pricing, so there's no need to charge for tax separately, or you can decide to have the tax done in separately, and you can type in your own tax rate. And then we are going back to setup guide, and we have the store set up now, and now all we need is the store design, and this is essentially adding your cart page, adding your checkout page, and designing your pages as well. Lastly, then you also need to add a payment provider. So this is essentially connecting a payment method so that people are able to actually buy the products off your site. And you can do either one or two things. You can either connect Stripe, and that'll accept most major credit and debit cards, or you can do connect to PayPal as well. But you need an account for both, and then you just need to connect them via integrations as well, via the API keys. It's important to note that Stripe themselves don't actually charge for using those platforms. So there's no transaction fee. Webflow don't charge for any kind of transaction fee. However, there is a transaction fee set by Stripe and PayPal. So that's nothing that Webflow would charge. It's actually a charge from the payment provider themselves. So once your website is done, you've added all your products, you've added all your content, you've made edits to any of the templates that you needed to, it's time to actually publish your site and make it live. With Webflow, they offer several different pricing plans depending on your needs, but you basically can review each of the plans and decide if you want to use which pricing plan that you want. The Webflow does have a free plan. So with the free plan, you can create up to 2 projects and host them on a Webflow subdomain, meaning that you won't have your own custom domain. It'll look something like webflow.name of your website. In this case, it's IT support .webflow.io. So if you wanted to use that, you would just click on publish and use checkbox over here and just click on publish to selected domains. And you can see the website is now published successfully. If you click on this little arrow, we can see it live with all of the content and the new sections that we've added as well. If you decide that you don't want to use Webflow's subdomain and you want to use your own custom domain, then you definitely need to purchase one of Webflow's other paid plans. So Webflow's plans are split into two. There's the basic website and then there's an e-commerce site. So if you have any kind of shopping functionality on your site, whether that's adding the products and accepting payments, then you have to have one of the e-commerce site plans. If you have e-commerce on your website and use one of the basic website plans, you will not be able to use the e-commerce functionality. You won't be able to accept any kind of payments. So just to keep a note of that as well. So as we mentioned before with the website plans, the free plan means you can create up to 2 projects and host them on Webflow subdomain, and you can have access to basic design and CMS features, but you're limited in terms of custom code and integrations. Then you have the basic plan, which is best for launching sort of simple sites. It starts at about $14 a month, and which is billed annually and includes 10 projects, custom domains, and access to Webflow CMS. And you'll also have access to basic e-commerce functionality and integration with third-party platforms like Zapier. Then you have the CMS, and this starts at around $23 a month, and this includes unlimited projects, advanced e-commerce functionality, and the ability to add custom code and integrations. You'll also have access to Webflow's team collaboration and client billing features as well. And lastly, you have the business plan. So the business plan starts at $39 a month, and includes all of the features of the CMS plan, plus priority support, advanced site-wide analytics, and increased project limits as well. For the e-commerce site, it starts off with 3 different pricing plans. You've got $29 a month, $74 a month, and $212 a month. So there is a lot of jumps between each of them, but all of the main differences between all of them is essentially the features that you get, but then also the scalability of it. So when it comes to each of these plans, you can scroll down and see what the difference are between all of them. So for example, you have the e-commerce items. With the standard plan, you get 500, and it goes all the way up to 15,000. And in terms of transaction fees, there's no transaction fees on the basic, the plus or the advanced, but it is on the basic as well. And you also get different e-commerce features as well. So it's really good for scalability. What you can do is start off with a more basic plan if you know that right now you won't need to make full use of the advanced business features. But the good thing about Webflow's pricing plan is that it does allow for a lot of scalability as well. Overall, their pricing plans are pretty flexible and designed to meet the needs of a wide range of users, from individuals to large businesses as well. So there's a lot of pros to using Webflow. One of them is that they have the powerful visual design tools that we've seen earlier. So Webflow, as you've seen, offers that drag and drop visual editor that allows you to design complex websites without writing any code. You can add custom code and animations to your designs if needed, but just to be aware that that comes with the more advanced plans that you can get with Webflow. They're also accommodate for responsive design, so they're fully responsive, meaning they look great on all devices, from desktops to mobile devices as well, especially if you use their templates, because their templates are already responsive ready as well. Webflow have a built-in CMS, so they have the content management system that allows you to easily manage your website's content and update it as needed, and has the e-commerce functionality, which is really powerful as well, including the ability to create custom product pages, add product variants, and integrate with popular payment gateways. Webflow also offers hosting for your website, and this includes SSL encryption and fast load times as well. And as you've seen before, their pricing plans are really flexible. They do have a good number of pricing plans to kind of suit the needs of different kinds of businesses as well. Some of the cons of using Webflow though, and there are quite a few, one of them is that it's quite a steep learning curve. So while Webflow's visual design tools are powerful, they can also be a little bit complex, and there is a learning curve to using them effectively. There's limited integrations, so they have popular integrations with like Zapier and Google Analytics, but there's still some limitations to what you can actually integrate with. And Webflow's built-in SEO tools are limited compared to your dedicated SEO tools, and you might need to add custom code to fully optimize your website for search engines. While Webflow does offer lots of different pricing plans, their pricing plans are usually at a higher price point than some other website builders, particularly for larger teams or organizations. And lastly, there's limited support. So while Webflow offers support through community forum and email support, they don't offer phone support, which may be a drawback for some users. Overall, Webflow is a really powerful website builder that offers a lot of functionality and design flexibility, but it might not be the best choice for everyone, particularly if you're looking for something a little bit more simpler or a little bit more budget friendly. Wix is a very user-friendly website building platform that has a lot of built-in features to kind of give users the freedom to design professional websites easily and that look great on any device. It's built for people who aren't professional developers or don't have a lot of coding experience, as everything is already coded for you. You just need to select which design, which layout you like, and then add in your own content. So first things first, you want to go to the Wix sign up page and just type in your email. Type your email in twice, password, and then just click sign up to start your account. To create a Wix account is completely free, so at this point you don't need any payment or anything. And then once you're logged in, you'll see your dashboard, and any sites that you might have created beforehand will show up here. But if this is your first time building a site, then this will probably be blank. To get started creating a site, all you want to do is click create new site. And what's going to happen then, it'll take you step by step into deciding, okay, what kind of site do you want to build, what features you want to add, and things like that. So what kind of website are you creating? You can choose between things like online store, portfolio, if it's an event booking website, you can also choose that. So there's event management, event planner, things like that. So you would just type in what your business type is and just select which one is closest. The purpose of this is just to kind of see what kind of features you might already want, and then whenever they populate your site, they'll use sort of placeholder content, so they'll use images relating to what kind of website you're creating. And then you want to select the name of your website, whatever that is. And now there's going to talk about the types of features that you want to add. So they've got an event platform. So the event platform will let you sort of create events, sell tickets, track whoever's booked to go to an event, things like that. So that's included based on the website that we chose. You have the option then of a chat function, so when someone logs onto your website, they have the option of opening sort of like a chat bubble. If there's any questions, then anyone online on the back end of the site can answer that. Then in terms of other features you can add things like an online store. You can add forms, any contact forms, any subscribe forms, that might be useful, so we'll click on that. You can take bookings, so this is different to events. So events is more, you can create sort of different like away days, you can create experiences and different kind of events, and then bookings is more of a appointment type thing. So if there's different appointments that people want to book for you, they can do that and they'll be able to select the date and time that suits them. You can also add blogs, so blogs are a really good way to kind of drive traffic onto your website, and to kind of keep your website constantly updated with new content, new updates, things like that. So you can add that as well. And just kind of go through and see which kind of features you think would be suitable. Specifically for this example, I'm just going to use the events. I'll take out the chat, blog, and then some forms. And then once you're done, you just want to click next. But this isn't permanent. So if you decide you wanted to add something, but later you decide, oh, I don't need that functionality, you can take it out. If there's functionality there that you think you might not need, you can add it in later. So we didn't add the online store, for example, but if you wanted to add a store later on, we still have that option there. So start setting up your website. So with Wix, you have two options. You can start with a template, so they'll show you different templates, and Wix will then you can just go in and change the content. Or Wix will create a site for you within a few minutes based on what you've already selected so far, and they'll ask you for design and things like that. With both options, it's not
set in stone. So if you see a design that they give you and you don't like the colors, you don't like the font used, all of that can be changed, all of the content can be changed. It's just more how much time do you want to spend building in the beginning. So we'll click this one for now, get a custom built site. And you can see there's a bunch of different templates that you can go through, and you can just sort of view them if you wanted to. For example, this one, if you click view, this is essentially what it's going to look like, how people can navigate through it. And again, so this template is just there, so you're not starting off with a completely blank slate. You can go in, change all the content. If you want to change the font styling, the colors that they use, that's all editable. Or you can just go back, see which one you prefer. So yeah, it's very user-friendly. It's very much select what you like and then just change the content. For this example, I think we'll just go for something like this, just to keep it simple, and we'll just click edit. And once you hit edit, the site will then load with all of the pages and all of the content. So you can see on the left all of the different options you have. So you can add things like elements, add different sections, change the site design, things like that. When you first load the site, there's a few things that you might want to get rid of. So all of the page code and all of the ADI things at the bottom, they're not needed if you're using the template. So all you need to do is just click the minimize button for this one and then just click on the page code. And that kind of tidies that section up. But essentially you can see that the site's been loaded, and you can sort of scroll through and see what it looks like, and from there then you can decide if you want to change any of the font styling and things like that. To preview your site, what you want to do is just click on preview, and that'll open up your site without all of the edit mode options, and then you can just kind of go through the site as a user. That again, so you can see, okay, this is how I scroll, there's content here, and yeah, just kind of go through the site as a user, see what's missing, see what you want to change, and things like that.
Product page, things like that. So now that you have your site developed and you've got all the pages that you want, the next thing you want to do is add the online store to the site, and you do that using the apps section of the website. So you want to go into the site in edit mode, and then where it says apps on the left, add apps, just click on that, and it'll take you to the Wix app market. And you can either search through apps and you want to look for the Wix e-commerce app, or you can go down to the sell online, just down here. And you will see the option for Wix stores, which is free to install. And you just want to click on that, and then it'll start installing all of the pages and the section on the dashboard as well. So just click add to site, and you can see now everything's loading, so it's adding the Wix stores. And once everything's all done, you'll be automatically redirected to the new shop page. And you'll see all the options come up here. So you've got your sort of almost like a guide here, so start selling, adding products, defining shipping regions and payment methods, things like that. If you come back into the shop page, so you can see you've got your general kind of shop grid. So when you first upload the online store, you'll get some placeholder products. They'll have like some basic information, product name, cost, product image, things like that, just so you can see how everything is going to be laid out. To just set up your shop page, what you want to do is maybe add something like a title and maybe a small description as well. So if we increase some spacing over here and then bring the shop grid down a little, we've got space at the top now for a title and maybe some content as well. So if we go into the add elements section and click add heading 1, and then drag the heading 1 to the top. And again, just increase the sizing and the padding and the section heights to however wide or however tall that you need it, just so everything fits nicely on the page. And for the shop, you can for the title, you can just call it shop or shop our products. just something to let customers know this is your main shop page and where they can browse all your products, things like that. And we'll add a bit more space to add some text. So you want to go into add elements, text, and then go into paragraphs and just pick from the 3 paragraph styles that you have. And then just add the paragraph here. And you just want to add a quick paragraph, not only and then just edit the page as you need. So I'm just going to bring this grid up again. So now that we have the page set up, one more thing we can do is also just manage the actual grid. So if we click on the grid section here, we've got the grid toolbar, and if you click into settings, you can see you've got options to show a specific collection. And collections are basically categories. Wix call them collections, but they're essentially a way for you to organize your products. If you want to organize products by product type, if it's an accessory, if it's clothing, if it's a food item, you can create different collections and then assign each product those collections, and that way you can organize your pages and your products into those categories. So for example, this is a general shop page, but then you can have another page dedicated to a specific collection. So if you had a collection for food items, then you can have a shop page for food items, and it would only show products that are assigned to that category. So if we had another category for food items, we would select that. Then within layout, you can you've got different options for layout width, so you can stretch to full width to take up the full width of the screen. Display style, you've got some options on how you want to display the grid as well. And then product info alignment, so this information here, it's left aligned, but you can also choose to center align or right align it. And you can choose the amount of columns and rows that you want, the spacing between each of them, the image placement as well. So if you wanted to change the image placement so that everything's sort of side by side, or if you want it above the info, things like that. So you've got a good few options in terms of how to style the grid category. And one thing you want to do then is also come into settings and show what's actually displayed. So by default, product name, product price, and the ribbon will always be displayed. Ribbon meaning this little bit of text here, so within each product then you can add a little ribbon, whether that's bestseller, new, sale, just to kind of attract more attention on specific products. And then you can also choose to whether or not include a name and price divider as well, which is just that little line. But if you said you don't want to show the ribbon, or if you don't want to show the product price as well, that's up to you. You can control all of that within here. And then you can choose if you want to view more products through load more, or if you want to use pagination or infinite scroll, things like that. Another thing that might be useful is for you to use something called filters. So filters will sort of add themselves. So if you click on show filters, then it'll basically by default add a price filter. So people can use the price range to filter products that are within a certain price range. And then another thing you can filter by is things like color or size. So as you add products, you can add things called variable products, where one product may have different color options, or they may have different size options. So those options then become things that people can filter by. So we can show this once we add some options to the products, but that's just another thing that you can do with a shop page. You can choose to show the filters, or if you just want people to scroll normally, then just uncheck that show filters box. You can also add sorting. So by default it's checked off, but if you switch it on, you can just allow sort of like a sorting box over here, which kind of adds itself on the right hand side, and you can allow customers to sort by whether it's a new product or not, price sorting, or sort by alphabetical order. So you can give those options to your customers as well. And last few things you can do is just a design. So you can change the in general, like the background color of the shop grid, the product color, product name color, product font color, You can change all of that as well. And you can change the name of the text as well. So with the button text says load more, but you can change it to say view more products, and the out of stock text by default will say out of stock, but if you want to say in stock soon, something like that, you can change the text as well. So it's up to you how you want to style it and what options you want to show the user. What would be good would be to keep the filter and the sort by, just you want to make the experience easy as possible for the customer. So adding those sort of filter options and sort by options as well will help sort of them navigate around your site. So as well as the shop page, what also gets added is something called the product page, and this is essentially the single product template that every single one of your products will show. So when someone clicks from the shop page, when they click on a product, this is essentially what they'll see. So they'll see the product image, they'll see the product name, the SKU number if it has one, the price, and the 2 color options or whatever color options that they have. If they have even more options, for example size, they'll have that, and they'll be able to show sort of like the product information, return policy, things like that. So this is just this is almost like a template basically. So if you come into pages and then go under store pages, click product page, this is a general sort of template of what every single product page will look like once you add all of the content. And you have some options for styling. So if you click into the grid to this template page here, you just want to click on settings, and you'll see the options that you have to change the product page. So if you go into main and then click customize page, you can select the page layout, things like, so this is the classic layout. If you want to look at the sleek layout and see if that works better, they also have something called stunning, which is a bit more image heavy. It's got the text within the image, things like that. We can keep it spotlight or simple. There's 5 different layouts basically for you to choose which one you think would work best for your products, and you would just select one of them, and all of your products will follow that layout. It's essentially the template page that you have. And then you also have the option to stretch to full width. So right now this is within the container, but you can also stretch it to full width. If you realize there's a lot of information to put on the page, this might help not make it look so squished. And then you can also choose where to show the thumbnail. So this is referring to these images here at the bottom. So you can add more than one image to each product, and you can decide sort of where to put those thumbnails, whether it's at the bottom, to the side, as dots, things like that. And within the settings, so you can choose what's displayed. So if you don't add SKU numbers to the page or to any of your products, you just want to uncheck that, and that will hide the SKU number from the product template. And things like quantity, if you don't want people to have the option to choose more than one of the product, then you can hide that as well. And the information sections, which is referring to this section here, so the product info, return and refund policy, shipping info, it's up to you if you want to keep those in place as well. And with the add to cart button, so there's different options of what happens when someone clicks add to cart. They can either show a success pop-up, open a mini version of their cart, or go directly to the cart page, or stay on the product page. As a good rule of thumb, it's good to just open a mini cart. That way if it'll show up almost like the product's been successfully added, but they're still on the page, and they can add more products if they want to. And then with the text, so you have the option to change the button text for add to cart. So either call it add to cart, or you can call it add to basket if you prefer. And then you've got the design as well. So with the design, you can pick sort of like the opacity and background color of the actual grid. You can also pick the design of the actual product details in terms of the name, product price, options, things like that. And then the buttons as well, you can decide how you want to customize that, if you even want to customize the style or the border, things like that. So there's lots of options you can do in terms of the design of the actual page and what layouts you want to use. You are restricted to using Wix's own layout, but you've got 5 of different layouts to choose from, and you can also choose the text color, font sizing, things like that. So it is pretty flexible in that way. And then once you're done, obviously just click save or publish to make your site live, and that's essentially your product page and your shop page set up. The other pages that you'll also get is something called the cart page. So this is a default page. Once people start adding things to their cart, they'll be able to see the list of all the things that are in their cart, and they can review and remove things if they need to, or add more things if they want to. And then they also have the thank you page. So this is right after they've successfully completed their purchase. They'll be given sort of like an order number, and they'll be giving a sort of overall of what they've bought, how much they've paid, any shipping address, billing address, things like that, an overview. And you'll also get a confirmation as well when someone's successfully purchased a product or products. You'll be given an order number and obviously all of their details of what they bought, where it's going, things like that.
Squarespace is a website building and hosting company, and it allows users who don't have a lot of experience in web design or web development to be able to do that themselves through the use of templates and easy kind of hosting access as well. Squarespace have a range of different templates that you can use and update with your own kind of branding and update all of your layouts as well. So it is a really good option if you are wanting to open up a website and get some kind of web presence online, but you don't have either like enough money or the experience to build your own custom website. So it's good to kind of have Squarespace as an option to create your own website basically. So to get started, what you want to do is go onto the Squarespace website and then click on Get Started to set up your account. Setting up an account is fully free, and building the site is free as well. The only thing you'll probably be paying for is like the hosting to host your website with Squarespace, and the domain name as well if you decide to use a custom domain. So similar to how Wix and Shopify work, what Squarespace will first do is ask you about your site and find out some information about it in order to provide more relevant templates and functionality. So for example, if you are selling things, or if you're just a blog site, you would just select one of these options here. If you don't see an option, then you just want to describe your site in detail, just like a few sentences or a few words, so Squarespace can pick it up from there. And then you just click on next to move on, and then you want to answer, so what are your top goals? So these are essentially questions so that Squarespace can make sure that the site that they're building for you has enough functionality. So maybe you just want to sell online courses, maybe you just want to publish blogs, showcase your work, things like that, sell products. Whichever one it is you just want to select on it, and you can select more than one as well if there's more things that you want to do. And they have different options. So you can see you can sell memberships, you can sell online courses, you can showcase work. So if it's like a portfolio website, you can set up as a portfolio website. If you wanted to be if it's to market a business or a service, you can do that. You can sell products. So Squarespace does accommodate a e-commerce platform as well. You can publish events or promote events, get appointments, or you can collect donations as well. So there's lots of things that you can do with Squarespace and different functionalities that they offer. And you can select more than one, and then just click next to move on. And then it asks you to let us know what stage they're at. So maybe you're just starting out and you're wanting to see what's out there. Maybe you already have a business and you're in the middle of that. You're growing an existing business, or maybe you're replacing your current site with Squarespace. And then you just want to click finish to finish off. So now what it's done is it's collected a whole bunch of templates, going over and using the answers that you've given, and it's started off with templates that would suit your needs. So I did food blog, so it's showing me some food blogger templates. So you can see best template matches here, and you can sort of hover over them and see a bit more. You can either preview with browser or you can start. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the first one, and it's going to start setting up the site. So just before that, you want to make sure that you create your account. So either connect with Google or you can continue with email. If you continue with Google, it'll just ask you to sign into your Google account. Now that I'm all signed in, I'm taken to my site, and the first thing it asks me is to create a site title. So you just type in the name of your site essentially, and just click continue and click next to start editing your pages. So you can see the site is already built for me using the template, and it looks really good, it looks really professional. And you can just click on the X to get rid of this question box here. So it's already designed, it's already styled, it's even responsive on mobile. You can see I can move to the mobile page using that icon. So what I would need to do now is make all the changes that I need to the site. So for example, the first thing I might want to do is change the styling of it. So while I like the layout, I may not agree with some of the styling that's been used. So what I do is go into design, and I'm looking for the site styles section. So if I click into site styles, you can see I have access to the fonts, colors, animation, spacing, buttons, and image blocks. So for example, if we go into colors first, and you can see this is my color palette. So I've got like the lightest colors, I've got the light colors, bright colors, dark and darkest colors, and I can go in and change all of this. So for example, if I want to change like the background colors, that's using one of the light colors. So I'm going to click on the edit pencil, and you can see where on the site those colors are being used. So lightest 2 is being used here, lightest 1 is being used here, so you know exactly what sections are using what colors. So what I'm going to do is click into that and then click into light 1 here, and you can see what colors are being used as well. So anywhere that's using light 1, the section background is this color, but perhaps I want to change it to a completely custom color. I can use the color picker to either pick a new color, or I can type in the hex code directly if I know the hex code. And you can see now that light 1 has now changed to this orange color. If I go back, all the other sections that were using light 1 has also changed. And then you can do the same with all the other colors. For example, some areas were using light 2. And you can change those colors as well, that section background, the text colors as well. You can make all those changes if you need to. If you click into one of the paragraphs here, you can see that that's a paragraph small, it's in black. So what you want to do is go back into light 1, because this is using the light 1 color. And you want to change the paragraph color to maybe blue or maybe white. And that'll change the color for that one as well. So your themes go, your theme color goes here. There's different sections as well. So if we go darkest 2, go back to show all. So darkest 1 is this color here, and we can click into that directly and change the content and change the themes. So darkest 1, the title color, which is this white one here, is white. The description color is white. The button background is white. And we can change that. So if you click on title color, maybe you want to change it to black. You can see it's changed to black as well. So essentially each color palette, whichever section whenever you add a new section, if you assign it the darkest one color palette, then all the titles within that section, all the descriptions in that section, the button background colors in that section will follow this color palette. So it's up to you how you want to edit that. If we do the same, for example, lightest 2, so this is light 2, you can see the oh sorry, that's light 2, so if we go back and click on lightest 2, yeah, so you can see the title color and the button background color are these colors here. If we change the title color maybe to the blue, even if we click into each section, you can see what we can change. So we've changed the title color to pink, and you can see the read more link is pink as well, and you can change it that way as well. The other thing you can change then is the font. So if you go back to site styles and go into fonts, and you can see the font that's using is Poppins. So what you can do is switch and use a different base font. There's different font packs that you can use, the sans serif, serif and mixed, and you just go through and look at the font pack that you like the look of the most. They're just loading all here one by one. You can see there's different packs here, so you just click on one, and then what it'll do is it'll apply that font pack to your website. And you can go through and just pick which one you think works. That might be a bit too big, so we'll go for another one. And you just kind of go through and pick which fonts you like the look of, what fonts you like the styling of. Once you've picked a font pack, then you can go through and change exactly the stylings of everything. So for example, the base sizing is 16, but then you can change the global styles of all the headings. So these are headings here. If you click into headings, you can change the text of each of them. These are global settings, so if you change the settings for H2 on this one, it'll change on H2 on all of them. I think this one, if you click into it, yeah, you can change all of the font stylings here, and you can increase the width of them, increase the font sizing of them as well. So this is a heading 3. If I want, I can increase the heading sizes to make it a bit bigger. You just play around with it and drag it to see which one you like the look of the most, and just do everything that way as well. And you can see it being changed in real time, so you don't have to worry about going back and forth. You can just see it go to where that element has been added, and then just add it, and then just edit it how you need to. And then once you're done, you have other things like the buttons, for example. That's another thing that you can change. So you can explore new different button styles. Things like the button shape. So right now it's set to square. If we look for a button here, but you can change it to maybe be a slightly oval shape. You can give it custom corners as well. And things like that, and you want to click on apply to all buttons to change all the button styling, and you can see the button styling being changed as well, and you can change like the outline and things like that. So you've got most of the styling done. The next thing that you want to do is edit the content. So we've already, if you click on each section, so for example this part here, if you click on text, if you double click on the text, what you can do is just edit it directly, similar to how you would in Wix. You can double click into the text and then just change the content whatever way that you need to. And what you can do is also change the content type. So this one is set as a heading. I'm going to change it to a paragraph. And you can format it as well with adding bullet points, bold, italicizing, things like that. And you would just go through and change each settings and change the each settings and change each of the content as well in whatever way that you want it to do. Once you're done with everything, you just want to click done and then click save to save all of your changes, or you can discard your changes if you need to. So you can see all of my changes I've saved, and now I can do other things with the design page, things like browser icon, and this is just the little favicon that is used for websites. So you just upload an image by clicking on the little plus and upload a file. And the next thing then is any 404 pages. So if you click on 404, you can design that as well. You can use system default, or you can use a blog as well. It's usually better just to use a system default, as it has all the information there as well. And another thing you can do, if you feel the need, you can add custom CSS, and this will basically just add allow you to add CSS rules to your site, and depending on how much experience you have with websites, this might be really good for you, or it might be something that you never use. But it is something that you can use if you wanted to. Another thing you can do is add all of your pages. So if you click on pages here, so all of the pages have been added. So you've got blog, about, contact, but maybe you want a another page as well, maybe for meet the team. So what you would do is click on the plus, and you can either create a blank page or you can use the designer. So if you click on page layouts, it'll then open this template page, and you can see exactly what kind of page layout that you want. This will help if you don't have a lot of experience in design. Squarespace will just give you a whole bunch of options that are already mobile friendly, and all you need to do is change the content and change the styling if you need to. So if I wanted to meet the team page, I'll go into team and I'll look for a design that I already like. So for example, this one here, I'll click into it and the new page will add itself just here. And you can see the page has been added, and all I need to do, so I'll need to change that name, and then I also just need to add any of the content. So I can change the name of our team, and I can change each of this content here as well. Before I get started, I need to click on edit on the top page to open the page in edit mode. So you can see the page is added here. What I can also do is click on add section, and what I can do is add more sections. So I can add another meet the team section if I realize I need more content here, and it just automatically adds itself directly below. And again, all I need to do is add the content. In terms of editing the section, if I click on edit section, I can add images to the background, and I can add a video background, or I can add a color background. So I can give it this color background here, and it'll use the stylings for that palette. So I've used light 1, and it's used light 1 styling where the text is all in black. I can also edit the section content. So if I click on elements, I can decide to show the image and the title and the body. I can also decide to show a button if I wanted to, and then edit the button content. I can decide if I want to show the title. This will add a title to the top. I won't need it for the second section as I already have a title up in the first section, but I can if I wanted to. So you can really edit the content quite easily. It's a little bit difficult to edit the design. You won't be able to add maybe like another paragraph section, but you can add change the design up here. So if you click on each section and look at the design tab, you can see what different options you have for each section. If you want to use the design tab that already has, or if you want to use other design options, you can do that as well. It's up to you how you want to design each of these pages. Once you're done, just click Save Changes and your changes will be saved. The other thing then is the blog. So if you click onto this section here, you'll be taken to the blog page. This is your main kind of blog page on the one that we had edited earlier. It's really simple to add blogs to your website. So if you click on blogs, these are the blogs that you currently have. These are all sort of placeholder blogs that Wix will add, or Squarespace will add, just so you have something to work with. But if you wanted to add a new one, all you want to do is click on the plus button here. Okay. And within here you can add the post title, which will be the name of the blog, whatever it is. And then this section here is where you add all of your blog content. You want to make sure then within this blog content you add as much as much content as possible, but also that you separate it into different headings, and then you add different pictures as well, just to make it really easy to read and make it a bit more easier for users to understand as well. So I pasted in some content, and what I'm going to do is add different headings to help break it up. So I'm going to highlight this bit of text and turn it into a heading 6 or heading 4. You want to make sure that you're only highlighting the right parts of the text. So for example, turn that into a different paragraph, and then what I'm going to do is click on the plus and add another text element as well, and then just paste the rest of my content. And again, just keep adding elements, keep adding content to make it easy to read. And then what I can do also is add, say, some images. So if I click on image and click add image, and you can browse stock images or you can select from your library. So if you click on browse stock images, you can use free images that Squarespace allow you to use. It's always good to use your own images, but sometimes it's not possible, so it's good to just have an image there so it's not so much white space and helps fill in the text a little bit. And you can see, so we've added in the post, we've added in the title, and we've added in content as well. There's different other bits of elements that you can add. So if you click on the plus, you can see I can add like a link to a newsletter, I can add a map, I can add videos as well. So there's lots of different things that you can do, but essentially you just want to start adding in the blog post, and then just make sure either you save to save your changes, or you can publish directly as well, and that'll be live on your site ready to go. So the blog is now live, and you'll get a link as well generated, and decide if you want to share it onto your social media. One thing you want to make sure is that you have the settings for each of your blogs correct. So you can see I'm missing an image. So if I go into the three dots and click on settings, it'll open those blog settings up for that specific blog. So for example, the first thing I'm missing is a featured image, and this is essentially the main image that's associated with the website, with the specific blog post. So you want to just use an image here. And then you want to write an excerpt, and it tells you at the bottom what this is for. So featured image and excerpt represent your post across your site and when you share it on social media. So you want to make sure that you add a blog, you add a image, and you add a excerpt that is relevant to the blog as well and describes it really accurately. Then you want to go into the SEO tab, and you want to make sure you have everything added in terms of SEO. So the title, it'll add itself, just following the site title and the name of the blog. You can see the preview here. You can add your own description or have it randomly generated. It's always better to add your own description to each of your blogs, so that it's accurately describing that blog as well, and it's not trailing off at the end. What you can also do is share the post, so you can connect it to a social media account so that it'll automatically push to social media accounts, but you can do that as well. And then once you're done, you just click save, and that is your new blog saved and added onto the site. You can duplicate existing blogs. So for example, this blog here, if you like the name or if you like how this blog is laid out, what you can do is click on the 3 dots for that blog and just click duplicate. And then you just need to remember to change the name. So if we go back to the blog, this is the new one, click on settings. You want to make sure that you have the URL changed, and you want to make sure under SEO the SEO descriptions is the same as well. So the title is going to be what the new blog is, and its own description as well. You want to make sure you give it its own description, and just click save. And then once you're there, you just want to change the actual title and the actual content of the blog, but the layout is still there and all the same. So if you like the layout of one certain blog, then you can just use that blog, duplicate it, and just change the content. It'll save you some time. It also just means there's some consistency as well. So again, to edit a blog, you just want to click onto the blog and click edit to open it in edit mode. And then you just want to click on paste or change the blog content. So that's your blog set up, and your page is all set up as well. The other thing that you might want to set up is is to just check your settings, make sure that you have the site availability. So right now the site is set to private, and that's because we don't have a plan in place. So we'll need to upgrade our site plan. If you click onto site availability and click on upgrade to publish, it'll ask you to select one of the plans. So they've got a different number of plans depending on your needs and your budget. The cheapest one, being the personal, gives you a lot of features and things like that. They all come with 24/7 support, so you don't need to worry about purchasing a plan and then being stuck if you're having trouble editing your site or any billing issues. They all come with that 24/7 support. The main differences between the personal and the rest of them is the number of contributors, so the number of people that have access to your site. You can only have 2 on the personal, but with the business it's unlimited. You can get more kind of business metrics as well. I think if you have a normal kind of brochure build site where you're just doing a blog, then the personal will be enough, but the business, commerce basic and commerce advanced are needed if you have an e-commerce website platform on your Squarespace. If you're just having a normal blog brochure build website, then just having the personal is enough. You can choose to pay annually or pay monthly, but you tend to save up more if you were to pay annually. You would select the plan that you want and then just fill in the payment information and then just pay the amount, and then that's your blog site plan purchased. So that's a quick overview of Squarespace. The other thing that you can also do then is set up the e-commerce. So if you click on the commerce section as well, that's where you can start adding in the e-commerce platform. So to get started, it'll ask you some questions. So where you're selling in the moment, you can decide if you're selling through your own website, Etsy, things like that, or in person, or you can just say not selling yet if you haven't been selling yet. And what kind of products it'll ask you. So for example, if you're selling physical products, if you're selling online courses, digital downloads, things like that, and how many products you're planning on having. And you'd select all of these and essentially start setting up your store. It gives you sort of checklists. So you can see now we've got the commerce settings, and you can see this kind of checklist as well. So the first thing you need to do is add your products, set up your payment, choose your plan, and then publish. So if you go into products, just in the left here, so that's under inventory, the first thing you want to do is click on add product. And you want to select which type of product. In this example, we'll do physical. And just start filling in the basic information. So for example, if what you're selling is anything physical, you just want to type in the product name. And then you want to add the image of the product. You can either select from library or upload file. And then you want to click next. And you want to add more details like the price. Maybe if you want to add price here, the number of stock. If you have unlimited stock, that's fine, or you can type in the exact number of stock. And you can add more details as well. So you can see it takes you to the full product page. So we've already added the name and the image and the inventory, but the other thing that you may want to do then is add the product description. And you can add additional info. So if you want to add maybe more information about delivery or returns, you can just click on the delivery or add more info here, and you can write exactly what the information is. You can add longer descriptions. You can add video elements, content elements as well. So it's a really good place if you wanted to add maybe more brochures and more additional info, you can. And then you want to give it things like price, or you can sell it a sale price as well if you wanted to. Just click on the on sale toggle and you've got the on sale pricing. You just want to go through and add the different options basically. One thing that you might want to do is add the product variations. So this one here. So for example, if a product comes in different sizes, that's a variation. So one option might be size. You can just click on size. And you can give it your own custom sizing as well. It might even come in different colors. So if you click on add option and maybe different color. If the option that you want isn't either color or material, you can do customize, and the option might be something else that isn't labeled, whether that's material, maybe it's weight, things like that. But you can add your own sort of variations basically. And you just click save to add those variations, and what that means is you can control stock at the variation level. So maybe there's only 20 units of this one, of the 15 centimeter, and things like that. So you can give it different stock levels. You can also give it different pricing as well. Maybe one option isn't on sale, and one option is. So you can control these options as well. And then once you're done, just make sure that you have the SEO settings as well. So make sure you have the description added, and then just click save and publish to publish your physical product. After inventory, the only thing you need to set up then is payments and shipping. So that's down here in setup. So if you go into payments, you can see different payment options that you have. So you can connect to Stripe, so let customers pay with all major credit cards and debit cards. So you need to connect to your Stripe account, you can connect to your PayPal account, or you can connect to your Square account. So people can pay in different ways. It's important to note that these all come with fees, but the fees come from the third-party app themselves. So PayPal take a fee, Stripe take a fee, Square take a fee, but they go towards the payment providers and not for Squarespace. With all of them, you just need to click on connect and sign into your account as well, but you need to upgrade your plan in order to do that. The next thing you want to do is add the product shipping and fulfillment. So if you scroll down, you can see there's shipping at the bottom here. So you want to give your customers different options to get their product. You can either set shipping options if you want to offer delivery, or you can set up pickup options. So to add shipping options, you just click on add shipping, and then you want to click on flat rate to give, say, for example, next day delivery, and maybe that will cost them $5.99. Or you can do a fee by item. And the next thing you want to do is add the shipping zones. So where does this payment apply to? So maybe it applies to United Kingdom and things like that. And you just click save. You can also add a shipping option for standard delivery. And maybe that's a little bit cheaper, so you can offer a different item. And then shipping zones, you can do rest of the countries, that'll apply to everywhere. Or maybe it applies to certain countries as well. So you just go through and select which countries it applies to. So if you don't do if there's a country that isn't in any of the shipping zones, then shipping options won't be available. It'll just say, sorry, we don't ship here, and they'll have to ship elsewhere. You can also set up pickup options. So if you click on set up pickup, what you want to do then with the pickup options is click on add pickup option, and you would say collect in store. If you have different stores, then you can add different pickup information there. And then you want to give the pickup information, so that can be like your store address, opening times, and then please bring ID with you and any other information that you might need, and things like that. And then once that's done, you just click save. And you can add more than one pickup option if collect in store is one, or collect in branch, collect at post office, things like that. You can add different collection options. And that's really it. Once your store is set up, then the only thing left to do then is to add your plan. Again, if you are having a store set up on your website, then you want to make sure that the plan that you're using is one of the business ones. So if we click on choose a subscription plan here, you want to look for one of the business plans, whether that's business basic, commerce basic, or advanced, whichever one that you think would suit your needs better. But you'd select that and then just add it to your plan and pay for it.
So as mentioned before, these are just a few examples, and there are lots of other website design programs available. Each have their own strengths and focuses. The choice of which program that you use depends on factors like your design preferences, your technical expertise, project requirements, and also any budget requirements as well.